The movie starts with a young boy named Harold who lives inside a book. He's not an ordinary human, but has a magical crayon, which is a colored pencil that lets him draw whatever he wants. With this magical crayon, he first creates two friends, Moose and Horse, to bring colors into his boring life. He enjoys a lot with his two friends, but as Harold grows older, questions arise in his mind that need answers. So, Harold talks to his narrator, whom he calls the Old Man, about these things. The Old Man gives Harold all the information about the real world. However, one day, the Old Man suddenly disappears, and Harold decides that he will go to the real world to find the Old Man, not knowing that living in the real world isn't easy, and that something unexpected is going to happen. To enter the real world, he creates a door, and, along with his friend Moose, reaches the real world. But Horse stays behind. Later, Horse also comes to the real world, but gets separated from Harold and Moose. Upon arriving in the real world, Moose and Horse turn into human forms. Harold and Moose make a bike to search for the Old Man and start their journey. Along the way, they meet a woman named Terry, who is the mother of Harold's imaginative character, Mel. Terry accidentally hits Harold and Moose with her car. However, she didn't do this on purpose. Due to the collision, they fall, and their bike's tire gets punctured. Now, they need a new tire. Harold draws a new tire for the bike, which surprises Terry, but for Mel, this was normal. Mel requests his mother to let Harold and Moose stay at their house for a day, to which Terry agrees. Harold tells them that he is there to find the Old Man, and Terry thinks that Old Man refers to her father. At night, Mel talks to Harold and starts using his crayon. Soon, they both become good friends. Harold learns that Terry has been unhappy since Mel's father died. Hearing this, Harold decides to help Mel's mom so that she can live happily again. Mel is happy to hear this and promises to help Harold find the Old Man in return. The next morning, Terry sees that Mel and his friends have created a mess in the house. She tells them to leave as Mel has to go to school. After they leave, Mel secretly follows Harold and Moose as he wants to help them find the Old Man. While searching for the Old Man, Harold finds a paper with the location of a library where someone was supposed to help them. They decide to go to this library. The road was long, so Harold helps them by drawing skateboards, and they eventually reach the library. There, they meet a man named Gray, who claims to be able to help them find anyone. Gray is a struggling librarian who once wrote a fantasy novel, but it was so complicated that no one was willing to publish it. During their time with Gray, Mel discovers that Gray had a crush on Terry. They decide that if they can help Gray meet Terry, she might become happy again, and Gray would reunite with his childhood love. But before that, Harold asks Gray if he knows where to find the Old Man. Gray doesn't have an answer, but agrees to help them find him. When Gray learns that Terry has been upset since her husband's death, he becomes more determined to help. Gray tries to find information about the Old Man on the internet, but doesn't find much. Harold starts to think that instead of looking for the Old Man should come to him. So he decides to leave a message for the Old Man using a plane. Harold begins to draw the plane, and when Gray sees this, he realizes that Harold is from a book and has entered the real world. Seeing Harold build the plane, Gray starts to have some strange thoughts. Mel goes to school and gets into trouble with the police, who think he's up to no good. In his panic, Mel unintentionally alerts the police to Harold and Moose's presence. Back with Harold, Terry receives a call from Mel's school, informing her that he has hurt someone. Worried, Terry leaves for school, leaving Harold and Moose behind to finish the tasks. Harold and Moose start working in her place, but get bored after just 6 minutes. They then head to the shopping area, where Harold starts drawing strange things because he wants to help people. However, this causes the store to be completely wrecked, which directly affects Terry, leading to her getting fired from her job. Already stressed because of Mel, Terry becomes even more upset. After hearing about Terry losing her job, Mel feels guilty for causing her problems rather than helping her. But Mel tries to comfort Terry, and she eventually calms down. Harold, seeing Terry sad, decides to make her a piano because he knew she used to play one, but stopped after her husband died. A little later, Gray reappears, urging Harold and Moose to come with him because he knows where the Old Man might be. Gray shows them the book they came from. Harold sees that the writer of the book is not the old man, but someone else named Rocket. At this point, they find Horse, who has been pursued by the police for stealing a jacket and burglarizing several homes. The police arrest both Horse and Harold, throwing them into prison. Harold decides to escape by drawing a bulldozer with his crayon, successfully breaking them out. After escaping, Harold creates a motorcycle, and they head to Rocket's house. There, they discover that the old man is dead. Hearing this, Harold is heartbroken, feeling as if his life has come to an end. All the things Harold had drawn begin to disappear, including Moose and Horse. Gray, seeing Harold's distress, asks for the crayon. Harold, unaware of Gray's true intentions, hands it over. But Gray plans to use the crayon against Harold. Gray locks Harold in his office, then dresses up as a character from his fantasy novel. Soon after, Mel arrives and, seeing the situation, also gets worried, but Gray locks him up as well before leaving them both behind. The two manage to free themselves, using a key that Mel had which Harold had drawn for him. Things begin to restore, and Harold's creations, including Moose and Horse, return. The group sets out to find Gray, who had run away with the crayon. They didn't know what terrible things Gray might do with it. Gray, using the crayon's power, starts drawing dangerous things, such as molten lava. Meanwhile, Terry arrives and is shocked by what she sees. Mel's imaginary character, who he had created when the police were after him at school, also appears. Harold creates a flying spider that enters Gray's body and retrieves the crayon. Moose helps him in this task, and they finally manage to bring the situation under control. Afterward, Gray becomes very upset. So, Harold creates a door to Gray's fantasy world so that he can go there and be happy. Gray had drawn an imaginary friend for himself, and as soon as he enters his fantasy world, Harold burns the door, trapping Gray inside. The group then heads to a museum to learn more about Rocket's works. Harold discovers that he was created to give people hope and help them live their lives. Now, Harold decides to return to his world. Before he leaves, Mel gives him a set of multicolored crayons as a gift. Harold goes back to his world and continues to use the crayons to fuel his imagination. With this happy ending, the movie concludes. Thank you for watching.